not just the way. What's that you say? Isn't that the way?
Hello and welcome to the Heatbangers podcast. I'm Matty.
I'm Gordon.
I'm Neil.
Nearly caught us out there, eh?
Aye, I know. I thought I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. It's been a wee while since we've spoken, guys.
Aye, happy New Year.
Was it pre-New Year when we did the last one, Neil?
I think so. Aye.
I think it was.
Sure it was.
I think it was before Christmas.
Aye.
And after that, I apologise to everybody who's got in touch asking where the next episode was in the intervening period.
How many people's that?
13, something like that.
Aye.
One of those figures. Aye.
I think it was mainly me.
Aye, just you, Neil. How's it been going, and how's the year gone for you so far, Neil?
It's gone alright, actually. It's gone good. I stopped drinking on that, which has been like a big, massive, a big benefit, I think, for me, like mentally and physically. I had like health issues with my liver, liver disease. It wasn't serious, fatty liver disease, but a couple of years ago, the doctor just says, like, you need to stop drinking, like, just pack it in. Because I was a binge drinker, which was like, never drank in the house, just like drank in pubs and stuff. I was always the first one there, the last to leave. And my stomach was like killing me for ages, loads of like issues and that. And then at one point, the doctor just like, you know, when you get like a proper brutal doctor, they were like, you need to stop. You're not doing yourself any favours. The only way you should be drinking is if you're at a wedding and you're toasting the bride and groom. And then I just sort of ignored that and thought, somewhere in the world, some people must be getting married at this point, and like just cheers them and just drank. Like when I went for it, proper went for it. So now that's me over 100 days now, and I feel good for it.
Well done.
But I still miss, like, do you know what I mean? You miss that sort of escapism that you get from it, and being in certain situations like football and gigs or that, or just even meeting people socially, just that thing where you can take the edge of stuff. But I think it gets to the point where if you're taking edge of it too much, you know, you're just adding another edge. I feel alright, actually. I feel good for that.
You weren't like I was going to say, you weren't like a problem drinker in terms of like a, you know, like an alcoholic a habit. This is just for health reasons. Obviously, you have to share if that's too personal a question. You have to share, but it's a case of I've got to get myself sorted out and clean up.
That was it. It was like it was just brutal. Like my stomach was like in agony, and I went for, at one point I was going for, like, so my liver count, it was quite funny. So my liver count was supposed to be, I'm not sure the readings and the charts and stuff, but it was like it was supposed to be about 50. And a few years ago, when it was really bad, it was up to like 300 odds, and I was like, wow, I really need to get it down. So went back at the end of last year, and they says, right, it should be 50. Your blood counts have come back, liver, and it's 210. And I was like, right. So they says, right, don't drink for, I hope this was like December, don't drink for a month. Come back and see what it's like. So I was like, fair enough. And that was like, remember that point, that was like the Derby, had like 2 concerts, Christmas, New Year, football games, just like socially and stuff like that, Christmas nights out. So I thought, right, bang on ahead, see what happened. Went back and I thought, right, it'll be good. I've no drank, like, looked after myself. It must be less than 210. And I went back and it was 270. I was like, right, you're joking. After that, just about drove me to drink. But now I've got it back down now. I can't remember what was the last time. I think it was maybe down to 70, one of the readings, which was really good. I can't remember it now, it was good. And it was just that thing, you've got like the older, that like you're getting and stuff and putting on weight. And it's just like, you hear like more about like people who are healthy, having issues and stuff like that. And you just sort of, well, I'm not the healthiest, I want to try and look after myself as much as possible. So, and I've not got the fear as well, like, you know, when you've just been binge drinking and then you wake up on like the Sunday morning and you're like, what have I done? There's been times it's like, nah, and you're getting messages for I was saying you were like a major, what was it, I got called one time, you know, a disappointment, an embarrassment or something, isn't it? So, but I'm not going to be one of these people that like say, oh, you shouldn't be drinking that stuff. You know what I mean? Each their own. my body can't handle it as much as what I used to.
Have you found that, like, as that's like you saying about the social side, and as you've went on, that you're finding it all right? Because I hardly ever drink anymore, and like when I go out, I just didn't, because for numerous reasons, and that was years ago, and I found it quite hard at first as well, like everybody else drinking, and you weren't. But then eventually, I actually started quite looking a different look on it. I started quite enjoying it. I liked the fact that I could watch everybody else and laugh at everybody else being mental and doing daft things, and having that sort of observe, because I'm quite an observant person anyway, and that so like as it went on, I just got more comfortable with, like, and I ended up just having just as much fun, probably actually more fun, without exactly what you're saying there, the fear in the morning, the hangover, like what the fuck did I do? You can't exactly what you did, you had a good time, and then you can just go on with your next day. Like, have you found that as you've kind of went through that process?
Aye, definitely. And it's been good that just being more observant and more focused on that, more in the moment as well. And I can be quite socially awkward as well. So it's good just to like sit with people and like have a conversation with them, show like a genuine interest in them, and like appreciate what they're saying and take it in. And like, I think it'll be better for me. Whereas before I would be like, even joked about it with just before we had a Hibs game. I can't remember what game it was, but we were in like the Hibs club before it. And it must have been about 11:30, 12, and I was like, "Where are we going tonight?" And one of my mates was like, "You're planning like what you're drinking or what we're doing at 8 o'clock when it's not even like 12." Do you know what I mean? And I just had it in my head like, let's keep it like nothing else other than drink. Let's just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. I didn't even like have the first bottle of beer, the first pint. I was already thinking about my 9th, 10th. So I feel a lot better, but definitely don't want to criticise or judge that. I just, each phone, but I really like what you do, Gordon, with like, was it 2 or 3 drinks and that, and then that's your
drink limit,
I think that's really good, that, and it takes a lot of discipline as well. And I admire that for Scottish people. It takes a lot of bottle.
Aye. Can you, I take it alcohol free? Lager's all right, like. Is the actual alcohol component of drinking is the problem? It's no. So obviously you've got loads of calories. There's like, it's not just when you have a pint. It's not just the alcohol in it. It's no great for you. There's other stuff in a pint that's no great. So I take it, and this is just me being curious because I didn't ken it. I think it is just the alcohol component. So if you were to go out and have a night on Heineken Zeros, that's all right for your liver. You're still going to go. You've done a good job there, Neil.
I believe so. But at the same point, I'm not really like to try it because I'm like very much like an all or nothing. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's a good point because I've not actually got like a drink. Whereas before I'd be like Budweiser or, do you know what I mean, pint or like Peroni and stuff. You'd have like the ones that you'd go to. So I've not tried the non-alcoholic one because I think if I've got the taste for that, would I then want to just like say, well, I'll just have a pint? Do you know what I mean? And for me, it's like all or nothing. I need to, if I'm like, that's why I never really go to house drinking because I'd be like, right, I'd want like a crate. Just like a 4-pack, I wanted to do a 4-pack. So I'm still looking for that. I've been drinking like sparkling water, which makes me sound like
thank you.
I think really.
Tory water, you mean? What you're drinking?
What was that?
Tory water.
That was that. Aye. But yeah, I need to find that drink because like you get backed up with drinking too much like juice, like fizzy juice that's probably good for you. But first world problems. If that's what I've got to worry about, then I'm doing all right.
Your mate's all right, mate. It's because it's a totally different dynamic, isn't it? Once if you all drink together and then all of a sudden one of you goes, I'm no drinking. It can be funny with that. How have you found that?
My mates have been sounding that. Like you'll get like occasional like no digs or that, but you'll get like a couple of comments and stuff. But everybody's supporting it. It's a thing. Same like mental health and all that. Like the real people are like the real your real mates and that. They're not going to like turn against you or think any different because you're not drinking. They'll always have your back. But it's a thing. I can't remember who was saying it recently, and it is that thing where like drink seems to be the only things where if I turned up at like the Albion bar and I was at my mate's Bowie, I've had a problem with drugs, I've kicked it, I'm doing well in that, folk would be like, well done and all that, or do you know what I mean? Or got a gambling problem, bend it all, folk would be like, well done, that's it. But you say like, I'm not allowed to drink anymore, or I'm not going to drink anymore. Folk are like, are you sure? Just have a pint. You know what I mean? Nobody ever.
You'll be all right with one.
You never really say to me, like, I just go and get a bag of heroin, you'll be alright if you've got a drug problem. It's that sort of funny perception of it. And I think it's especially in Scotland, so with the fatty liver disease, they told me, like one doctor says that like if they checked 30% of the adult population would have what I'd have in Scotland. And it's just like, it's just something like we're really good at it. If it was an Olympic sport, we'd be like amazing at drinking.
Really funny with drinking. So I kind of accidentally stopped drinking. Like I never made a conscious decision to say I'm not going to drink anymore. I just found it like I was the only driver in the house, so I was always on call, especially when I had the kids. So that was like a game changer. I would drink a lot up until really I met Jane and we had Josh. Like I would get off the 22 on Leith Walk straight to Robbie's every night and go in and get a kind of beer, like a minimum of 2 pints. Sometimes just on main take and go in. If it maybe it's like I have a quick pint of main before I walked into the flat. But basically the time with my mate, and then Jane came along and Josh came along, and it was like I can't do that anymore. Moved away from Leith. I was the only driver, and then it wasn't like I stopped drinking at that point. I would still have like the big nights out and everything, but then the hangovers were brutal because kids didn't respect the hangover. Like they still want your attention, and you didn't really want to be, or I didn't want to be hanging around about them either because it's no nice for them. It wasn't nice for me. And then just over time, and I kind of lost the taste for it. And it was funny when Josh went over to live in Edinburgh, and he's like doing the student life. He works in the pub now, and he was drinking loads. And I remember sort of having to try to get it in my head that that's what, like, it's all right. Like young folk did, and he was like out getting hammered and enjoying himself. And I couldn't like even put myself back in that mind space of going, Kevin, you went out and you were just like, let's get fucking melted tonight. And it used to be like a good laugh and everything. And I couldn't think, why would I want to do that? It's just like a wee switch went in my head at some point. And now I can take a leave, like I can have a drink, but it's no. I used to live for it, and like it would be, like I say, every day or the weekend. You couldn't wait to get to the weekend to go out and get absolutely fucking plastered to go out with your mates. And now it's like, I would have just a bottle of Iron Brew and sit down with the Xbox. So just an old boring bastard, pretty much. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Is
not bad thing.
But that's like, it's no boring though, is it? Like, it's exactly what, like you were saying, Neil, it's like especially in Scotland, Ireland's probably the same, like it's society, our society dictates like, oh, you're a boring bastard if you didn't have a drink. I'd argue that you're potentially the opposite if you didn't have a drink, right? Because you're no conforming to like everybody telling you to have a drink. Again, I'm not saying, as you said, Neil, not telling anybody not to have a drink or whatever, if that's what you want to do, and then fine. I mean, obviously, alcoholism's a totally different subject, but like, I would say then be that. But have a drink if you want to have a drink. But at the same time, we are as a Scottish people and as a society, sort of just brought up with like, I got to go and have a pint of Tennent's and go to the pub with your dad when you turn 18 and do this and do that and go out on the lash with your mates and everything. It's like, I think like it's funny because you're saying Josh has kind of been doing that. My oldest two haven't really. I mean, they go out and they get smashed every now and again, but because there was a while I was like, and I mean, like one of them turned 18 during COVID, another one he's just turned 18. So when I was like, I think I was like 15, 16 when I started like proper drinking in the park with a bottle of cider, and then go to like the minors clubs that let all the young folk in and things like that, and it just doesn't seem to be anything like that anymore. Like they didn't go down the park and get smashed, or well, any of the kids that I see, and I'm not like got parks around here to Dug a Walk. Never see any bairns there like with a bottle of White Lightning or hooch or whatever it would be. So I think if there is like a cultural shift a wee bit. I don't know if we were the last generation to have that, but hopefully.
I think Josh is
good maybe. No, when you go, my son.
I think Josh is kind of come out the other side. I think he did it for a spell, and then now he's like knocked it on the head for a wee bit. I think he's got his 21st later, and he sort of made a decision just kind of calm down until he hits 21. I think he's going to go big at that point. So he's got that to look forward to. Sorry, but anyway, what were you going to say?
Do you think it's maybe like the generational thing that as well with the younger folk? when they're going out, a lot of them will be like for the social aspect of it. Do you know what I mean? Like Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like that, what looks good, or when they're drinking, and they're probably more health conscious, definitely, than like what my generation was like, Britpop, lad culture, in the mid like 90s, 94, 97, 98. Do you know what I mean? That was we were just begging. And I think it was an interesting looking back on it, because if you had like the sort of second Summer of Love, 89, do you know what I mean? Like Rave and stuff like that, right to like 91 probably. And then like 93, 4, it just sort of like boom, kicked off, and then from about 97, 98, I think. I'm trying to think of it as Oasis albums when they were really good and then when they weren't that good. But that was just like, that was pretty much our drinking culture, and that's what we were like. Do you know what I mean? We were like, we grew up in that, we were raised in that.
I wonder, like that social media thing you just mentioned, I wonder if it is more like, because like when we were young and we got fucking rat-arsed, the only people that seen all the stupid things you did were the folk that you were with, right? And then most of the other folk were smashed and couldn't remember anything either. So it was kind of like, you had the fear in that. But now, like, if I'm young and I stop and think for a minute, or do it once, and get absolutely mortal and do something ridiculous, and it's all over Snapchat, it's all over Instagram, it's all over everything, everybody's sending it to each other. Like, that's fear, like, next level, right? So I wonder if that plays into it. Like, they're very conscious that because of social media, like they've people, like young people are a lot more conscious about like those kind of actions and doing that. Maybe that's what's stopping them. Don't know. You know, we're no like psychologists or
teenagers.
Or teenagers, certainly not.
Definitely not.
It's a funny thing, the social media finance. I try to kind of keep my phone in my pocket as much as possible when I'm out with folk. Do you know, like even for gigs and like at the football, and like one of my daughters was saying to me like, "Oh, if you want to grow your YouTube, you should vlog at the football." And I was like, "Fuck that! I want to go to football." Do you know, like I want to go and just watch the game. I'm never my old man and my son. That's what I'm going for. I don't want to be. Like, I've got to think, what am I filming here, or and I'm the same on the like a night out, or if I'm with friends, I want to have like a conversation. I don't want to sit with you like used to now and go. I'm going to pretend I'm listening to you, but really what I want to do is go on Hibsnet or go on Twitter, or play a game on my phone or anything, or take photos of you while I'm doing it. Quick, fucking stay there so I can remember this later. I want to have the experience and remember it. It's a funny thing about usually like I use like photographers, or do you prefer just to remember it?
Like for gigs and that, I was really bad. No videos but taking photographs, but I've been looking at actually trying to delete stuff off my phone, and I've got so many, and they're just like really badly taken. And the only way I look through them is to delete them to take more photos of gigs that will end up. And that's a cycle, but so try not to, but like definitely, and I think it's more. I don't know if it's like a nervous thing with me sometimes, but I can definitely find myself on my phone if I'm in conversation with, or like out with people, scrolling it and stuff like that. But my mates have been honest with me, like, you're always on your phone. Do you know what I mean? So I'm on it less. And I know when it comes to going to games and that, I used to be really bad for taking photos. And I don't know why, like, but now it's hardly, like, I'll hardly do it. Do you know what I mean? I'll take a couple and that's it. But it's that whole focus thing. And even when I'm low at the football, it's just that, like, appreciating life and that. Like, some of the best times I've had recently, at Hibs games I've not actually been, just switched off my phone, like, kicked about. Do you know what I mean? And it's just being, like, focused in the moment. And it's a lot better as opposed to, like, you're just adding like another worry that you can or cannot control it. You're saying that you like recording, like imagine that in like the terraces and stuff. And I think did you see the footage of the guy? Was it the Hamilton guy? Hamilton fan tried like upload a vlog and stuff like that. It's just folks shouting abuse at the players.
John Rankin,
and he's just sitting there like stony faced and that, and that's it. There's like it's difficult enough like living life without making it even complicated for yourself, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like, and I've been at gigs and that as well, and I've seen people like quite literally record the whole concert
I did get that. Like,
and I'm like, nah.
I've recorded songs like because I wanted, but I literally will like hold it up at the side and like make sure it's there, and then watch it. But there's people that are watching the gig through their phone.
Mental.
And I'm like, what? Like, I fair enough if I do it for, like I say, like one song where it's a song like that's my favourite song of theirs, and I guess it's got to be amazing in the performance, and I want to watch it back later. Like I'll put it up like that to the side, and then I watch it, and I'm not looking at my phone back in. It's caught it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for me. Like fine, but these folk, like you say, some of them would just record the whole fucking gig and watch it through their phone. Paid like probably about 50, 70 quid for a ticket to the gig, and then watch it through their phone. I just didn't understand it. But folk feel like they have to because they're like, I want to post this on to show everybody that I'm at this gig and look at this where I was standing and all the rest of it. I just
the validation of it all.
Aye, but like I've been trying to like change mindset with that kind of stuff, and I've not been that bad at it, but it's like that. What's that thing called? The last time principle? There's this thing. So basically, if you think of everything as the last time it will ever happen, then everything becomes instantly more like meaningful and enjoyable for you.
Yeah.
So like, just being this band could split up, and this could be the last time I ever see them. And then just see if you just think that and try and have that mindset, then you like in that moment you'll enjoy it more and you'll focus on the actual moment rather than recording things and taking pictures of things. I suppose a catch-22, then irony of that might be that you're like, well, I better record it because this might be the last time.
I've never got another chance.
But it's like it's more a mindset than a factual sort of statement. You know what I mean? Like if I think it's the same with anything. Like I've been trying to do it more and more, like taking my wee man's hand when he's crossing the road and just like things like that, just thinking this could be the last time that he wants to take my hand crossing the road. Like he's 11 now, like probably is getting to that point where, and just every time, and then I actually find myself like, sounds weird, but like feeling his skin, kind of like we kids have got like softer skin, and it's just like hugging his like his hands weirder than mine, and just like taking him across the road and getting him across. Things like that. I would just took his hand to cross the road to see if I stopped and think this could be the last time. You just concentrate and sort of appreciate all the little things there that are just makes it so much more special. So I highly recommend to anybody listening, try it out. Just like this could be the last time that this happens, or this is the last time. It really does make a difference. Like there's loads of studies in that, but I don't know who came up with it. But
it's a really good principle because if you think about, I can't remember whether we were talking about this before, but there's like the last time you had your group of mates at school, the last time you were all together, and none of you would have known that was the last time. When you all went out for a pint or whatever, you know, like, and you would have finished that night out, fully expecting there to be another one, and then for whatever reason it just doesn't happen, and you're like, fucking hell, now you're 46 and going, what happened? Like, when did we stop going out? When did we stop being pals and all that kind of thing? It is a good principle and a good philosophy. God, like I like the idea behind it.
And do you think that if knowing what you know now, and you knew that it was the last time now, right, and you could go back, would you appreciate it and stop and like, so you like that was the last time, go back in time, right? I know this is going to be the last time. You would, right? You would appreciate
100%. Aye,
it more.
Yeah, 100%.
Aye. So again, if you have that mindset when you're actually doing stuff, then like you probably know, like, because you sometimes you've got to think like, it's not going to be the last time, right? But again, if you even just have that thought in your head, then you will appreciate it more, and it does make a massive difference. So then you didn't have that sort of, it's not really regret, right? But sort of that hindsight of, oh, that was the last time, and actually, I never really took stock of it at the time.
It's like that last time we saw Hibs get a penalty, and it's never happening again, is it? How come nobody takes photos at the cinema? Kind of like the places that you go to, kind of at gigs or kind of football or the rest.
It's not allowed, right? They've not got those cameras that like infrared.
Have they?
Like, oot.
Did they just tell you that, or have they got them?
I don't know.
Kind of like the purple dye in the swimming pool. I'm not sure if that is an actual factual thing or no, but you didn't want to test out, do you?
No, I've tested it. No. Several times, every time I'm in the pool. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
just gonna get a wee photo of the cinema while I'm here, so I can post it on Facebook later. My daughter got photos at I played To Kill a Mockingbird when we went down to London. You weren't meant to do that, but she was like, I fucking just did it. She bit the bullet and just sneaked a couple of photos, and that was it. She didn't go wild with it, but they were a good wee memento for her.
Mm-hmm.
Then I mind a wee bit of rebellion here and there.
Rules are meant to be broken, right?
Aye. That's a funny thing. Have you found, like, see as you've got older, I know that we're desperately old men, right? Middle age or sort of early middle age, whatever you want to look at it. I think middle age is different now because folk are living longer, so we're maybe still not quite there. And Neil, you and I are a bit older than Gordon. Anyway,
definitely are closer than me. Like.
Aye, yeah. What's your views to following rules compared to when you were younger? Are you more inclined to respect rules or less inclined?
I think I'm the same. I've always been against like rules and stuff. I don't know why, but I genuinely think I've maintained the fact that I just do like anybody telling me to fucking do anything. Like I just didn't. Like, unless it if it makes sense to me, then I'll do it. But I've always had an issue, like always getting bothered at school, talking back to teachers and that. But I've always managed to do it in a way that applies sort of that logic to it. It's probably like why I'm in the job that I'm in, because like I can see things and apply logic to things and articulate that this is why I think this is utter shite. But I think I've always just like, I remember being like when you had to do a language, right, and it was like French and German, and I was like, I don't want to do either because I'm never going to speak and I'm no interest in speaking any other language. I would rather focus on other things. And they're like, no, you have to. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And I genuinely just like didn't do anything in the French class, picked French. The French teacher fucking hated me. And I was like, why I don't want to learn French. I'm no interested. I'm not trying to be ignorant or anything. I'm not going to go live in France. I didn't want to like speak to. It's not that I want to speak to French people, right? But I just didn't. I had no interest whatsoever. So I just refused to do it, and it caused me nothing but bother at school because of it. But like nobody could really argue. Like we went to my mum and dad, and that he's like, he's just refusing to do the class, and they were like, my dad was like, he doesn't want to do it. Like I would get it if it was maths or English or something, but it's French, and it's just things like that. I don't know, and I probably have got maybe. I suppose it depends. I maybe got worse than better in some aspects of things in terms of like the rules and just maybe accepting more things, or I'm trying to accept more things because it stresses me the fuck out otherwise. But I've always been a bit of a rebel that way, I think, for whatever reason.
I'll ask you the same question a second ago. Just do you apply the same tolerance to other people not following the rules as you do yourself?
Depending on what it is. Depending on what it is. Well, probably. Well, no, yes. That's a really. You can't ask me that question. Just like, that's not a yes no answer. That's not a yes no answer because, like, obviously the obvious things are like lockdown, COVID, Boris Johnson. And
yeah, of course.
Like, never followed the rules. That is a clear, like, that rule was a good rule and a valid rule for a very good fucking reason. And the rule that they brought in.
They made,
aye. So, like, there's instances like that where you're just like, no, there's certain rules that shouldn't be broken, right? And it's not like I'm not kicking about here tax evading or like nicking stuff for the shops and that. Like I'm not like there's obviously rules in society that need to be there for obvious reasons. So there's different levels. I think even like again my kids and stuff like that, I'm very like there's some things like my oldest laddie, he's working in a supermarket now, and there's certain things that his bosses are just being dicks about because supermarket bosses just don't have a scoop what they're doing, half of them, and not all of them, but some of them, especially the ones that he works with, Denny. And it's like there's certain things that come up, and I'm just like, I totally back him. I'm just like, they do it. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. Like, what they're asking you to do doesn't make any sense and they didn't have any reason, so just tell them that. And if they've got a problem with it, you just go to HR or your union. So I'm quite fair, I think, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Neil? Are you a stickler for the rules?
For some of them, definitely. Like, and I think especially when I've been like driving and stuff like that, like driving, I would be like red lights and I don't know. You'd see like other people pushing it or like speed limits and stuff. And I think for like basics like manners and that, I know it's not a rule, but it's just like sort of general like well-being and that. It just annoys me if like folk, you know what I mean, are like bad mannered and stuff. There's the extremes of that, and there's totally the other extremes of like other rules. Aye, and it's that whole thing. If you could get away with it, would you get away with what you would do? Do you know what I mean? Like breaking the rule. Aye. And sometimes you probably think less about the ones that you. There's ones that you probably think less that you do break, or do you know what I mean? I'll just take. Not so much a rule, but like if it was like if you're at a restaurant and you noticed that they've get the bill and they've no charge you for like the last round of drinks or whatever, would you? Do you know what I mean? It's not really a rule breaker, but would you like admit it or
you tell them? Aye.
And I think sometimes that depending on it could depend completely on mood. Like if you found like I don't know, £100 lying in the street, like an envelope, £100 in it. I suppose what would you do? Like, where would you go? Would you hand it to the police? That's the thing you would do. You're supposed to do anyway. And then they contact you. I think it's like you've got 3 months for somebody to claim it. And if you don't claim it, you get the money back or you'd get it back. It's like, really, come on. Do you know what I mean?
Charge them interest.
I know. I think it depends on situations like that. I hope not the more older you get and the more responsible you become, but stuff like manners and that.
But see like, another example of that then, Neil, I think if what you would do in this situation. So say like a big massive conglomerate, so like say Amazon, right? And that they send you something and they somehow just for whatever reason it's been a glitch and they just give you your money back, and then they give you your money back again, you get like double money. Like these things happen. Shit example, but you know what I mean. So you end up like getting the thing for free and then getting double your money. Do you go and tell them? Because I'm kind of like that, like fucking mountain of money. They didn't even pay tax. Amazon, like they're supposed to. I'm just keeping it.
I'd probably be like that as well if it was a smaller company. I remember company that was buying like clothes off, they sent me something by mistake and I emailed them and I said, you're sending by mistakes like that. Could you admit that? And they paid the postage for me to send it back to them so it would go to the right person, stuff like that. There's other times and you think, you weigh it up at the time and say, I suppose it could be your situation that as well at that precise moment. If you were skint, do you know what I mean? Or if you were sent an item by mistake, something you wanted, you'd be like that. Yeah,
that's what, you know what I mean? It's the morals coming out, right? I think that's plays a big part into rules, right? It's like there's that sort of moral side of it where you're just like, like if it's a small company, you don't want to screw somebody else over them having a bad time. But like Amazon are going to be all right? They're not going to have a suit on maybe giving you 40 quid when they shouldn't have or whatever it is. So like, why would you know? What about you, Matty?
It's a tough one. I tend to agree. Like the bigger companies, because there's definitely companies that are on the front line stage. You know, like Amazon, who are really, really helpful. And this is where I'm like a contradiction. Is I would absolutely use Amazon all the time because they're good at what they do, and you get the stuff quick and all the rest. Great range. But if they made a mistake like that, I have no qualms, and like I wouldn't bother about keeping the item. I think I might make a cursory attempt to flag it and just say you sent me this, but I wouldn't push it. But if it was a wee business, 100%, I would be. I found 60 quid in the library. I was there hanging with the kids one time. This was when I was. We'd done the 5 circle on the train. We were renting my mate's baby's head, and we'd done the 5 circle. I don't know if you've ever done this before. You get on. There's a train route, 5 circle, and it goes like Dunfermline, Cowdenbeath, Lochgelly, like all the way around the house to get up to Kirkcaldy, Glenrothes.
And you're keeping and all that and stuff like that.
That's on the way back round. We've done that, and it's just about as drunk as I've ever been, like horrendously drunk. And the next day was awful. And I'm like, I need to do something with the kids because in the house, it's just in my head, and there's a library. It's a 5-minute walk up the road. It's like, well, kids, we go up to the library, got out in the air, Paul Lucas said for the cafe up into the library, they're doing with their books, and I'm just like, it's quiet. He'd say her, and then there was just 60 quid sitting on the floor, 3 20 quid notes. And I was like, gave it to the counter, just took it out, just lying on the floor. And there was part of me was, because my kids are there,
Mm-hmm.
I want to set the example, do you know that? But then there's another part of me, I think I would have done it anyway, because I'm quite, like that idea about, would you do the right thing when nobody's looking? I like to think that I would do that.
Aye.
But it's no black and white, like I say, like if it's Amazon, I fucking
this is what because that could have been a wee kid's like pocket money or something like that, right? Like
an Rory, that would have been probably 60 quid would have been the fucking spoiled wee kids around here.
It is funny, like, because a story I probably shouldn't tell him, but it's not that bad. But so Kim had ordered me a T-shirt for this place that did these like custom T-shirts, and they're really cool. And I'll not say what it is, just in case somehow it gets back to them. But she ordered it, and it was for my birthday. And she ordered it like about 3 weeks before my birthday, and it never came. And she was chasing it and chasing it and chasing it, right? And they're like, there was like a woman at the other end on social, like I think she was messaging through Instagram, kind of like these companies have messaging through social media, and she said, "Oh, it must have got lost in the post. We'll send you another one." But actually, the one that you ordered is out of stock, so we'll have to got another one. And I was like, she asked, so she had to give away that she was getting it for my birthday. Asked me, and this was only a couple of days before my birthday. She's like, "It's not going to come in time." I was like, "It's fine, doesn't matter." So picked another one. She says, "Right, I'll send that out." It's about 3-4 weeks later, still hadn't came, right? And in between this, she's a message us saying, "What's going on?" She's like, "Oh well, it's the send it through Royal Mail, and you need to get in touch with them." She's like, "No, you need to get in touch with them because you sent it." Like, so she's like, "Oh," but the woman started like being a proper bitch, and she said to Kim, she was like, "You message me. You've messaged me umpteen times. I've told you it's with Royal Mail. With all the things going on in the world, haven't you got anything more important to complain about?" So this is what the woman said to Kim about this, right? So literally the next day after she said that, T-shirt turned up in the post, but she'd already refunded. So Kim got into an argument with her, and the woman was like, Kim was just like, "I just want a refund, right? I'm not wanting you to send another unit. You've been like really bad customer service. The way you spoke to me is awful. Give me a refund." Refund. Next day, the thing turned up in the post. So I was like, she was like, "Well, I'm going to have to tell them and that and give them the money." And I was like, "No." I was like, the way the customer service was, and this is probably quite bad. Like, when I hang back at it, I'm like, because it is quite a small company. It's just like basically a couple of, maybe about 3 or 4 of them. But it's just again that thing where it just stuck in my head. Like, she was awful. She made Kim feel really shit, and then like missed my birthday. It was 6-7 weeks before the thing turned up, and she had paid postage and everything like that. And then the woman, like about a week later, saying, "Oh, I got a receipt thing for Royal Mail saying that the T-shirt was delivered. Can you send me the money now?" And I said to Kim, I was like, this is bad. Like, I do feel quite guilty. That's why I'm bringing it up, because I do feel guilty. I says, message her back saying, "Have you not got more important things to worry about?"
I'll post it to you.
So she I think she did. She sent it back, and she ended up blocking Kim. So I got a free T-shirt, and I felt pretty bad. But it's just like, it's that kind of thing, like those kind of examples where it's like there's so much like that influences what decisions that you make. And like in hindsight, I'm just kind of like, if I was a really, really honest like person, I could have stepped back. And I'm like an honest person, but I could have stepped back and went, "Well, that woman's maybe just having a bad time. She didn't really mean what she said." But she had plenty of opportunity to apologise, and she never. But it's like one of those things where, like, where is the line? How far do you go to give somebody that sort of leeway? But I love wearing that T-shirt. It's really nice.
Good. That sounds like a good place to wrap up for the night.
Aye, my confession.
Aye. Good for the soul, isn't it, having a wee confession?
Aye, it's like communal confession.
And if you want to judge Gordon, just tweet us.
Aye, feel free. That fucking criminal. Phone the police if you want. I'll get a rap on the door in the morning.
And you'll be wearing a T-shirt.
We'll
just take off at the door.
here you go. We'll try not to leave it so long. Next time we'll get another episode out soon. I really enjoyed that one tonight, guys. If there's anything in particular you'd like us to talk about, do get in touch through Twitter. It's probably the easiest place to do it. It's at Heatbangers Pod. What's it? Is this at Heatbangers? Heatbangers Pod.
The email address is Heatbangers Pod.
Heatbangers Pod. Hold on a second. I'm in the Twitter now.
Jesus, that's professional outfit.
I know. At Heatbangers Pod, I was right. I said it, and then I was like, "Is that right?" Is it the email? It's at Heatbangers Pod. Go follow us there. We're happy to talk about anything. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Isn't that just the